InShalla and Ashe. Blessings to you, my energetic beings, and welcome to the Daily Snippet. It is I, once again, Tonya D, Holistic Sha'medium and Subtle Energy Surgeon. It's Friday, November 26th. Had to do a recheck there. I would say make it a green Friday instead of a black Friday, by the way. The gift of giving a virtual prize if you have yet to subscribe and receive the juice. My newsletter. I have a holiday gift voucher of my top 3 courses at a savings, actually. It includes Love the Skin You're In, The Balance of Being, and Soliciting Solitude, which is totally juicy. I keep adding different meditations to that. So if you're curious or interested, at least subscribe to my newsletter to receive the juice on that. But we have a Young Tiger Earth Day. Yeah, Young Earth Tiger Day, or a Woo Yin. So we have some earth once again. The yin earth is actually unfriendly or kind of like sibling rivalry, or siblings that are jelly of something of that nature for friends, or friends that are envious maybe. But the pig right next to the tiger actually nurtures the tiger. Yang water, yang wood, and we've got wood hidden there in the pig, but we only have fire hidden in the tiger branch. So our earth isn't really supported, but we still have a lot of earth as it is. If it is supported, it's going to be through a partner that brings in that support and the tiger. So for sure, our missing link is actually fire. So it's a great day to honor our ancestors today. I actually didn't look at any of the elements for yesterday at all. But, which is actually super strange for me because I'm always looking at something. But the tiger energy is formidable. It's having a substantial ego. Just enjoying your status in the jungle. Because the symbol of the tiger is also known for being a go-getter, like a fast cat, if you will. Having stamina and strength and power to just overcome trivial pursuits or things. But also it can be a paper tiger without much weight or substance. If your ego's actually been denied. So ignoring the tiger, and you have like this proverbial tiger by the tail, where you got the tassel on the tail. But tiger energy needs to be in the limelight. It needs to be the center of attention, and really enjoy having like everyone kind of pay court in the queendom and tell her how wonderful she is. She also gives as much as she receives when she's in her element. So the tiger feels alive in the sun when it's shining brightly. When she's being ignored, her ego has been stepped on. So her talents aren't really appreciated. So she can feel kind of dead inside. And then what happens is she puts on a mask kind of compliance to comply, and then slowly dissipates and fades away. But the tiger is also proud and displays like leadership, the leader of the jungle. And again, if the ego is not acknowledged in the tiger, not granted that status, it kind of has that little or no reason for living. And it tends to dive into sadness or kind of that melancholy feeling. So the days are kind of gray, no matter how much bright sun or how bright the sun is actually shining. So they really just never seem to be able to get up for anything, no matter how exciting it could be. So it's also the energy of our lungs and our vitality. All these elements kind of coagulate and merge together, but it's the lungs. So for the lungs to expand, that's, where the tiger kind of opens up and feels proud about themselves. They're excited about the future. And when it's depressed, that's when we weaken and we have the shallow breathing of our lungs. So we're kind of in a shallow state. Could be mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, all the things. But the affirmation for the tiger is, I am alive, and I am recognized. So the tiger can close down and become kind of grief-stricken over life's challenges. And then depression is kind of the result that can lead the tiger down this long and lonely road. And then ultimately, they got to find a reason for living again, to feel life surging, energetically, vitality surging back into the body. That's kind of the quest of this energy of the tiger. So we all have this energy somewhere in our chart where it displays, but having an Earth Day today, an Earth Day Master, it would kind of be important to ground this energy into the earth and utilize a tree to be our innate nature, that authenticity for transforming. So we're changing the script and we're writing a new story, or at the very least, a new chapter of what we want our life to be in the journey. So it's a day to enhance our energetic protection field, our sphere, and transform the negative into a positive, strengthening, it'll strengthen our intuition and kind of supports ourselves to be more objective and more fair. And really, it's exciting to create and start a new chapter. So we have this energy of possibly feeling maybe otherworldly, or that something is off. Or maybe you wake up and you're on the other side of the coin. So it's either this eclectic electric energy, E to the 3, or it could be a scratch in the vinyl record too. So you might have triggers or topics that come up that are triggering, the energetic kind. The nature of our authenticity, our innate nature is boiling over or reaching a cosmic boiling point even. Or even an aspect of our heart self, that's kind of where we beacon out. Our authentic heart self is ready to kind of move forward in the gate of life. So it's really about holding the heart's frequency for what you wish to law of attract. It's the wishes and the dreams and the big galactic corridor. Those gates are open. But just know it's not something that happens overnight. But you have to hold the frequency and be in the force. It's really the baby steps. Like I have a song narrative lately. I just was reminded. Now I forgot the song, but that's hilarious. I was going to share. I think it's that loving feeling. I'm not sure, but I think that's the one. It's all about baby steps. So our beliefs that aren't in alignment with our heart field, the field of the heart, and also the movement of the heart. It's like this accordion. It might have the ability to really, it's always about the breakdown into the breakthrough. We always fear the breakdown, but when things break down, it's because the foundation wasn't solid anyway, and there's something better on the other side. So this door is open to the truth when we get to the other side. So we have the shift because we're having this self-realization that the belief, what it was or what it is, was false, and it's actually holding us back from being the light that shines within us. So shadows are really being cut away and recalibrated. So maybe you felt like you aren't the best cook, or possibly you baked a pie yesterday and it turned out to be even better than ever. And you realize that, oh, hey, I am an amazing pie maker. So that's just a simple shift in the narrative that we tell ourselves. So we have this journey kind of self-discovering and self-discovery, that we no longer belong believing negativity about ourselves. So those energies kind of go into the void and we quit putting energy into it, feeding that fire, right? So it's like something you've been brought up to believe about yourself, despite what you've been told. Could have been by anyone, really, society, a teacher, parents. I mean, there's so many things, right? But whatever we've been told doesn't belong. That's the part of our cosmic blueprint, the map, or the piece of our own personal puzzle, where we have no evidence to justify the belief. It has no ground. So that's kind of fading away into the etheric, the ethers. And it has these two sides of the coin. So that's where these breakdowns in our belief system, or our system of beliefs, when this is kind of how I see it. So when what we have been told or telling ourselves, because we're talking about ourselves today, what we've been telling ourselves is not in alignment with our heart's resonance, or it's like what we are seeing isn't in alignment with what we are hearing. So it's like you're watching one movie play out, but the narrative of what you're hearing, they don't match. So you have this cosmic breakdown. So it's this correction in the nouns, the exclamation points, the question marks, the periods, the verbs, all of the punctuation, really. So our heart's kind of correcting that chapter, editing it, or the paragraphs of our own story, our own writings, what we write about ourselves. So it's the correction of our mind through our heart's channel. So what do you belong believing about yourself every day, all day long? And, I just keep saying I'm doing great. And you should say it too when people ask you how you're doing. Just, I am doing great. Or we're doing great, or whatever that is. And also affirm the tiger today, that I am alive, like I am alive. So that just like saying that out loud, like boom, it sparks your light. And I am recognized. So really kind of take this exploration journey through your heart field and where you can be more loving to yourself, and how are you loving yourself, and what that feels like inside. And also, do you believe in the way that you're nurturing your feelings in your emotional channel? Is it juicy? Is it filled with joy, peace, happiness? I always have my integrity words, or my virtue words, actually. So what can you do that's more self-loving to you? And truly tune into the song of your heart and listen to those sounds. And what do you truly, it's like this truly heart authenticated belief about yourself. And do more beliefs, do those beliefs belong anymore? Do they resonate in your love chalice? And you might really get that energetic hiccup today, the unexpected surprise, whether it's lightning, eclectic, electric. I kind of like the E to the 3, but you really got to, it takes time and it takes space to kind of accept the judgment and the beliefs through our heart space. So you might even get the mountaintop to show you a new perspective as well, a new way of seeing things. And with the moon in the last phases of Leo heading into Virgo, so our thread lines of emotions might be kind of blasting and landing into reality, like really taking a land, or it also might be in the body-based emotions. Virgo is the body. It's the single mom. So yay team, single moms, or a single dad for that matter as well. In Chiron, the wound is in Aries. So that's kind of cutting away the decisions or the commitments that kind of feel disastrous. So it's really a great, amazing day for healing what's ailing us. And we get to take the time and give it the space and decide in order to heal. So it's like the goddess herself, the universal kind. I call that God universe or the goddess universe. That's showing us the choices that really kind of how we've defined ourselves. But, those messages, those memos, they've only been there to teach us so we get the memo. That's the whole thing, right? So it's like there's no such thing as a mistake. That's generally a perception. And then what gets healing is our ego etching out God. That's what happens when our ego does its thing. Not that we don't need an ego. It's just, has to be in alignment with the goddess, right? So we can bring the goddess back in. I just did a Meet Me for Coffee. I think it goes live on Sunday. I met with a gentleman named Joseph. He's written some books about connecting with angels and his journey connecting with Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary, those two. Anyway, that goes live on Sunday, I believe. But so it's like, where does your heart want to go? It's asking, and are you listening? It's like, I remember when I was little, Avon calling, and my mom had the Avon lady come to the house. It's kind of that same thing. So it's the calling. The heart is calling. So our heart field is really calling us to heal, or at least at the very least, get the golden memo of self-loving. Our crown is online today. So we have our spiritual acumen, our God channel, and be sure to look out for Voices of the Other World. That's going to be live here. It's going to be a program online. I don't really like the word program, so I'm changing that up because I don't want to program people. I want to open the door. So that's like an asset to go with change your stars or uncover secrets of the other world. I'm kind of stoked about that golden nugget. But with our our spiritual connection online, I guess it could be kind of astrally. It's the Ong channel. The sound of nature is the swishing of the leaves or the shishing or the cats scratching in the background, fighting, whatever that looks like. Or also the ha, the heat of fire. So we can bring all those sounds in, cleansing breaths. Those are also great. as well. Now I'm super stoked about the stone of the day, celestite. I have this chakra Bible, and just so you know, I'm getting the information for the stones. It's called Tiny Rituals. Super fun website if you're ever curious about different stones. They have great information. But celestite's been called the stone of heaven. It's this blue, pale, translucent crystal, and it works with a higher refined rate of vibration and frequency. But it's super cool. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, there it is. Bingo. I mean, this picture really doesn't give it justice. I just want to say that out loud. But it's this beautiful, powerful expression of blue light known on the earth. In the physical body, it actually reduces stress by eating or bringing in relaxation into the realms of the light of the divine. But it also works through all of our energetic centers beyond the traditional in-body 7 to alter our physical rate of vibration. And actually, it results in the upgrading of our web of life, especially people that are aware. They're going to understand this more to be true, like your destiny for your story and your beingness. You know, sometimes even people subconsciously resist the change. So the stone kind of brings in that healing energy. But it's the flutter of angelic wings. So it's got the color of the morning sky in the moment before the dawn, and the humming with that new age kind of high vibration. And it's the stuff of dreams. It actually helps us find our dreams. So it's a great stone for today because we have that calibration up. But it comes from the Latin word calistes, which means celestial. So it's really no surprise to hear the shimmering crystal. It's just soaked with these rich and mystical and magical properties. But it's also all about inner peace, quiet space, and elevating our spirit. So it's a stone that really kind of whispers the deeper connections with the other realms, whether it's angelic or otherworldly. It's got this ethereal energy. So it's kind of a distinction between heaven energy and also the sky blue in our physical world. So it came from Libya to Egypt, and also the sugar sands of Madagascar, the rain-soaked skies of Britain, Peru's mystical mountains, even as far as Canada, Mexico, Germany, and Poland. So this stone, it's like it's fallen from a cluster of stars and kind of ended up all over the globe. But it's has this soft kind of element that's often mixed with metal to create the blue sparks and the fireworks to light up the sky. It's even been said to link with the man-made exploding stars, but it serves as this intuitive guide for those of us who are really ready to embrace the new age and the shift, or the new earth, the new world. So it's kind of radiant with spiritual healing, and it can help us on our path to peace. So it's just this, high vibe stone, and it actually has a song of the choir of angels singing. So you have just this one glance of this hazy blue glimmer, and you can feel as though you've actually been lifted to those higher places and those planes of being. And it does an amazing job when it comes to cleansing our energetic centers and grounding us. It'll cleanse our auric field. It'll clear the clutter out of our mind, get rid of the cosmic clutter, and just let the sweet inner peace into every cell of our beingness. So it has those potent healing properties. It'll also flush out toxins, just the ones that, to bring us like to this organic balm in our bodies. So this crystal is all about compelling us to find our inner balance and our perfect place of peace. It's an incredible stone to turn, like if you're struggling with a dysfunctional relationship, it'll clear our mind of anger, resentment, and lingering bad moods. So it just makes things more clarity. But also, it's got these mesmerizing metaphysical properties to really just clear out the closet of all the negative energy so we can connect with the angelic realm. So, it starts its divine energy to dig deep within our throat center, freeing up our energetic blockages there. So our voice and our communication tools kind of have room to thrive. But it also works with our third eye. This is kind of the place of our deepest intuition and that infinite wisdom. So it moves up to open that, and then it arouses and opens up our crown center, which really, that's that etheric energy that expands our vision farther out into the galactic universe, And if you're trusting in your guardian angels and those higher realms, this stone is kind of our ticket. Imagine a ticket to assist us to find that as well. So it's just this magical stone for mental clarity and the higher energetic centers, the in body and the out body. So with all of that, let's see. Oh, there they are. The cards of the day. So I find it curious. My swords, I don't really see swords in these cards. I see like ravens and crows. It's just kind of funny they call it Nine of Swords, but whatever. Doesn't really matter. So today we have the Nine of Swords. It's like what's keeping us up at night. So it's kind of a suggestion of time. The time of our life is so negative. Our thoughts are kind of slowing down our momentum when we might find ourselves expanding too much energy or worrying about the future. So it's the perception really is that everything, perception itself is everything, and not allow, the negative mind looping self-talk to kind of trip us up. So if you do have a pessimistic mindset, it can spiral wildly out of control. It can lead to anxiety, stress, depression, And even when our thoughts carry no truth or no vibration, so it's like, are we imagining the worst instead of activating the best? That's kind of, I try to stay in the optimistic venue. That's why I'm saying I'm doing great every day, even though even my throat sometimes is having issues. But it's really a time to flip our perspective and send those nurturing, loving thoughts to our situation to really overcome any of the disruptions, the forces of adversity in our thought channel or beingness, whatever that looks like. So it's like really looking to the light in our situation, like turn the light on and notice even the tiniest window of brightness. There's always a spark of light in the dark. And that light alone can keep fear out of our corridor, our beingness. So use your own light to expose the illusion and allow the worries to dissipate and to soften. As our bad dreams are kind of illuminated for what they truly are, that's when we can see our fears as illusions, because that's truly what they are. So this is actually kind of where we're all kind of letting go of things, right? And that's kind of the energy of today, is to like, this year's almost over. We're recalibrating. Life is getting good and gooder. We just got to hold the force, right? Be the Joda master. So then I pulled the Page of Swords, which is this bright, sunny card, even though it's reversed. But I'm loving it. It's still bright and shiny. But it's the kind of energy of nervous energy, gossip, being all talk, no action, dishonesty. But I think it's like, because it's the second card, it's the second one I pulled, it's like clearing all that up. So this is this curious and even intelligent energy that has like a more thirst for knowledge, or the knowledge might seem unquenchable, like you don't get enough. Like if you're like me, you're going to go spend money on books when you haven't read half. I don't want to go down there. But anyway, this energy is just really quick. It's a quick-witted communicator, just being compelled to share your ideas and your messages, but this is reversed. So it's the opposing, like you're holding those in. So oftentimes, you become so talkative that it becomes too much for other people to process. So she's got this intense energy that can kind of come across as unsettling or maybe even a little nervous. So it's a suggestion that we use an air of inventiveness in whatever we're currently pursuing. So our goals will be met, by walking down this path of integrity and honesty and kind of discovering different things, especially where other people might be concerned. So it's like keeping our light bulbs of curiosity turned on and really cultivating like a new mindset so we can thrive and learn and, just be grateful and gratitude. I was going to say blessed for new things. So just to avoid falling into the gossip or even the arrogance with our communication. So that can be like the shadow aspect would be literally all talk and no action. So it's like just remember that everybody who crosses our path has really something specific to teach us. We have mirrors all around us 24/7, and just kind of remaining open to those unexpected galactic messages or lessons, and share from your heart space, be truthful, be authentic, and kind of find the joy, the delight, the buzz in the interaction. Because, ultimately we're all learning and we're all expanding our consciousness as well, to open up to the new opportunities, and not just our life, but also the people around us. So it's, you want to keep spreading that out there, the higher octaves of energy. That's kind of how I'm seeing all this. It's such a strange deal. But the last card I pulled is the Knight of Pentacles, which I pulled this card before. But this energy, he's walking away from focusing just on his wealth and having workaholic kind of energies, being selfish, maybe cold, lazy. It's reversed, right? So it's this stagnation or feeling stuck vibration. So he's kind of been toiling back and forth. You might feel kind of stuck or maybe kind of lazy, and you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. But, it's just saying that we need to get into the joy molecule and be in our skin, basically. So just improving things for ourselves, and just know that this is on the shadow side. So those are those opposing forces. So it's time to really create a solid foundation, take extra care of ourselves, and harvest whatever it is we're trying to harvest will actually multiply in the future, because we're adding the positive juice to it. So it's this time to really share or show our own trustworthiness, our soul's authenticity, and bring our own home in our own beingness, our body, the moon, Virgo, while even at the same time uncovering our wavering kind of ambitions, what our future looks like. So sometimes this energy, it's so stable that it feels kind of repetitive and it feels stuck. So if you're kind of feeling resistance, whatever you resist persists. So you just kind of don't resist anymore, like whoop, go with the flow. Or if you kind of prefer to stay in bed, you kind of have to find the joy of what you've actually done, how far you've progressed in all of 2021. I just call it the experience, right? So it's the journey, and that journey really is a thing. So it's like recognizing how far you've come from where you've been. And it's a time to really uncover our heart's stirring enthusiasm by really allowing ourselves to believe in something brighter and lighter. So, really this card, it's this infinite expansion with time and faith in our seeds. So what does that look like? So, when you plant or seeds, the expansion of the seed bursting, and they're going to take root, and just kind of following through with our plans and our promises. And we move away from the stagnant energy that's been blocking us from our dreams. So it really is, with the tiger and the earth, the water, it really is like planting a seed, the seed by seed, and just knowing where that your future is going to be kind of having a rock steady, solid foundation laid that's actually based on faith. So we know we can't change our story if we don't change our path. So, if we keep doing the same thing day in and day out, there's no way that we're going to change our path. We become that stagnant energy in our beingness if we're constantly doing the same thing day in, day out, right? So some affirmations, I would say, I think we need to recognize that we are recognized, and that we are alive. That's the tiger. But also plant the seeds to ground the energy, and with the light, know that we are the beacon of light, and that we do shine bright, and we can bring that lightness into our beingness, says God universe, goddess universe. So it's a day to really detach from the threads that really they're not in a line. They're not serving the joy, the peace, the happiness on our galactic platter. So it's really, it's time to surrender those old perspectives and really get on the mountaintop, maybe get on the galactic mountain herself, a star, and have a different perspective or an alternative view where a story of unlimited possibilities light us up. just believing in ourselves through our heart and merging those two frequencies, then we become the light that we all have really inside of us. We have to do some decongestion sometimes. I'm not going to say I'm always juicy, but you know, I would affirm that I'm in alignment with my heart, shifting my soul's narrative or my spirit's narrative from a universal mountaintop kind of point of view, or the galaxy again for that matter. So thanks for tuning in. InShalla, Ashe. I'm going to be doing my TikTok for the cowrie shells. If you're curious about having a session, get online. My one-on-ones. Actually, my website's having issues. But you can still go to club.tonyad for that one. Okay, I'll see you on the other side, InShalla, Ashe.